So 2024 has already started out to be quite eventful, and what's on a lot of people's mind is the future. What's going to happen? What are we going to see? Because if history has told us anything, a lot of the quote-unquote conspiracy theories, a lot of the conjecture, a lot of the prophecies, whatever you want to call it, have turned out to be true. And a lot of it, in the very beginning, was far-fetched, it was cuckoo, it was crazy, and then when it happened, and a lot of it going back to COVID, the COVID era, telling us that this was going to be introduced to us, then they're going to give you a vaccine, they're going to shut it down, and all this stuff turned out to be true, as well as everything that has happened in the Trump era. Now you're seeing the border wall crisis, Texas just declaring a takeover with the National Guard of a certain area along the border, and there's this whole fight going on. But more importantly, a lot of the normies, the regular people, they're seeing anecdotal evidence, they're seeing empirical evidence, they're seeing things that are unfolding, people that they're following, celebrities, billionaires, they're building bunkers. Mark Zuckerberg, with all of his wealth, he was a billionaire since, I don't know, in the 2000s, right? He did not build a bunker every single year, not even 1% of his wealth. And then all of a sudden in 2023, come to find out he's building a bunker, as well as many other billionaires. And what I want to mention today is that Google is specifically preparing for a sensitive, quote unquote, sensitive event when they had released a newsletter to advertisers stating that they're going to update the inappropriate content policy to clarify the definition of sensitive events. And this letter, as well as, and again, this is not conjecture, this is not like some theory, this is evidence based on all these other things. And again, we can go down the list of many things going on, right? People talking about Disease X, people talking about the migrant crisis, they're talking about the voting that's going to happen, so many things. And also the financial aspect, the CBDC, universal basic income, so many things are being thrown into the air, banking collapses. The question is, what is this sensitive event and what are people preparing for, the billionaires and all these conspiracy theorists alike? Because people are paying attention, given what they have seen to be true, historically speaking, in the last 5 or 6 years. So because people have sounded the alarm bells, in a sense, they're paying attention because obviously somebody knows something on the inside, and a lot of the majority of the population, they want to get in on it. Right. And so this is where if, you listen to my channel or many other people, they're giving prophetic dreams of the end times. They're giving just sort of the near future. They're also giving clarity with regards to all of the information chaos that's happening, the misinformation, the psyops, and people want to know the truth. They want to find out and have a legitimate source of truth, of news, so that when they can make decisions and discern what's happening, they can do so with a good, firm foundation. And what media, with the mainstream media, what they've done is they've proven to many of us that you can't be trusted. They cannot be trusted. So this is what's happening. And that's why a lot of people are wondering, okay, maybe we don't know the future exactly, but what is it that these other people know that we don't as the normal person? And so as part of this letter, it's talking about an unforeseen, and this is what a sensitive event is defined as, is an unforeseen event or development that creates significant risk to Google's ability to provide high quality, relevant information and ground truth, and reduce insensitive or exploitative content in prominent and monetized features. And during a sensitive event, we may take a variety of actions to address these risks. And so they're talking about prohibiting, and this is non-exhaustive, but using certain keywords during a sensitive event to attempt to drive additional traffic, to exploit, dismiss, or condone the sensitive event, price gouging, artificial inflating of prices. There's victim blaming, claims that victims of a sensitive event are not deserving of remedy or support, and just so many things. Now, you've seen the chaos that has come out with regards to the news flowing with the Israel, Hamas, and the Gaza stuff. And this has wakened many more people up to finding out the truth. And so this is, and again, I'm not gonna make any quote unquote conjecture or spread false information. I'm just saying at a top level, this is what's happening, where people are being injected and waking up in masses. And so as people are wondering what this is, other people in the media realm, they're preparing for this with the cyber and the information warfare, while other people at the personal and the ground level, they're preparing by preparing bunkers, they're preparing things. And a lot of the movies that are coming out right now, you're seeing they're doing projections. You have Leave the World Behind movie. You have another one coming out, Civil War, projecting a divide among America. And then you have another one, ISS, about a nuclear war between Russia and the US. And so there's a lot going on with projection in the demonic realm and just wanting to allow people to manifest by seeing these things and repeating these things and having fear mongering and all this other stuff. But a lot of people want to be specific, especially those that are in the finance industry, because they want to make money, they want to be prepared, they want to stock up in a sense. And so a lot of people are saying that it's going to be a banking collapse, some kind of banking collapse, because they want to usher in the central bank digital currency and some kind of universal basic income. Now, things don't just come out, right? You don't just introduce something, and everybody knows this. You don't introduce the vaccine, you don't introduce the fight on terrorism unless you have something like a 9/11, unless you have something like COVID. You don't introduce something, gun control, without having a mass shooting, killing kids or something like that. And so if you want to introduce the central bank digital currency, if you want to introduce universal basic income, you heighten the fear, you increase, with inflation, you have some kind of collapse, some kind of instability, so that people are ready and they, more importantly, they want to receive it. In fact, they want to beg for it. They say, give it to me, so that they can be presented with, quote unquote, the solution. So this is where a lot of people, their minds are at, in addition to this whole crisis of the migrant stuff. And that's another agenda, but also another topic with regards to the elections and other stuff. Trump has been saying this. He's been right about all the other stuff that's happened. He's saying what they're trying to do with the 2024 election, with votes being counted for with the help of the migrant crisis, the immigrants. And so a lot of this is out there, but the more important thing is that it's not going to be, I believe, if we want to speak with regards to the collapse of the banking system and just this whole financial thing, it's not going to be so bad, I believe, where we're all going to, it's going to be like Leave the World Behind or some kind of civil war, but rather that you're going to live through a difficult time, but people are going to want to beg for it. And so it's not going to be that bad. You have to prepare. I've said before in the last couple of years, prepare for whatever this black swan or this event is. But once we get through this, it will be better as Trump is publicly shown, all the election stuff and all that is brought forth, and the agenda, the crimes against humanity, as well as the prosecution, the justice factor, all of that comes in, and we can deal with what is going to happen for the future. And so this is what I believe a lot, and also what a lot of people are saying, but there is clear evidence of whether it's the mainstream media and Google and these guys or other people talking about what's happening, and they're actually taking action, putting their money where their mouth is, and doing things to prepare for this sensitive event and sort of this whatever 2024 has before us. You have exposure, you have justice, you have the information warfare, but you're also going to have real events that are going to trigger certain things. And the last gasp, right, that the enemy has, that the deep state has, is they're going to do all they can to try to retain control. And so watch for that. 2024 is going to be a big year, but you also need to be prayed up. You have to seek the Lord. And this is the time for which you need to hold your hand for other people as they're trying to get through the situation themselves. And they're waking up to not only who God is, and also with everything going on around them, but as they move forward into this new sort of age that we're going to get into. And so be very cautious. It's a good time, but also it's not a time to be in fear. It's not a time to be scared, but it is just a shaking period. So I'm preparing with new businesses, new ventures. I know that once this gets up and running, it's going to be a good time so we can service people. I'm personally part of a business venture. As many of you know, I need the support. It's 1-2 Life. I'm doing gift packaging, many things, and I'm trying to get the funds necessary to sustain the development and the growth of this. My GoFundMe is down below. I also have a Give, Send, Go. Would love the support, guys. I'm trying to reach my target goal. It's very difficult, but I need all the support that I can get. Love you guys. Get ready. It's going to be a good future ahead. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.